quite a unique and exciting training idea that Verlin and I have been discussing for a couple of years now, and finally it's coming to fruition. So I'd like to introduce our special guests for this training course from Western Province Blind Cricket. We have the president on the far left, Israel Hutting. Then we've got Jermaine, and then we've got Coach Kasim on the far right, and then John van Steltweg. And you'll see John has got some special glasses on. I'm not sure about the playing conditions and all the different special conditions that come with blind cricket. Our local professional, or let's say the know-it-all for blind cricket in terms of Western Province Cricket Umpires Association is Verlin Etzebeth. And with the help of you gentlemen, he's going to take us through an introduction to blind cricket umpiring. So I have no idea what to expect, but I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's a great opportunity for us as an association to mix with another association within Western Province Cricket. And apart from the outdoor training that we'll have, afterwards we can go inside, enjoy a drink together, and talk further about the development of blind cricket in Cape Town and South Africa. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Verlin, and please, I'd like this session to be as interactive as possible. Any questions, you guys I'm sure will be happy to answer, and together we'll learn a little bit about blind cricket and the umpiring thereof. Over to you, Verlin.
Thanks, Tom. And again, thank you everybody for joining us. Tom, I don't know if you want to move the camera a bit down in the front cross here.
Okay, cool.
Right, so you've all got the playing conditions. Have you actually managed to read it?
Yeah.
No? Yes, no? Okay. Well, the most important thing for blind cricket is to distinguish between the different players. First and foremost, before the game even starts, we need to know what the difference is between B1, B2 and B3. So who can tell me what a B1 is?
Completely blind.
Completely blind. He's doing quite well. B2? Anybody?
Partially blind.
Yeah.
Partially blind, yes. And a B3?
Partially sighted.
Partially sighted, okay. So the biggest difference between those ones is actual dynamics in the game itself. Okay? So you'll notice Johnny is wearing these blackout glasses. I'm not sure whether you're willing to hand them over to everybody.
Sorry, it was broken, so there's some tape on it.
No worries, no worries. You're more than welcome to take it and to take a look at it.
Before the game, they must also check it to make sure that they're not cheating.
So all B1s have a set of glasses, or they share glasses. These are tested by the umpires before the game starts.
Yeah.
They're also tested when every B1 batter comes into bat. So the umpire actually takes these glasses, puts them on to see whether any light goes in or not. Okay. Obviously the reason behind this is to avoid, whether there's any concern that the batter might be able to see or not. And that, just using the glasses as an excuse. I mean, it's cheating at the end of the day if you can actually see. But, these ones are more than good enough. And B, you want to take a look? So, B1 coming on, you take a look at it, test it out, see whether it needs to be adjusted or not. And if it's good, you allow him to play with it. Now, B2s,
Sorry,
yes.
that's after the fall of the wicket, or is it before the match starts?
So before the match starts, this is meant to be tested.
Yes.
And then when every B1 comes into bat,
Yes.
so,
Yeah, so you check.
square leg or
So
whatever
for
it
the
is.
fielding side, you would check before the
Okay,
starts,
alright.
and then the batsman has to go. That's true.
As long as the umpires can actually see as well. See where they can't see. Now, you good, Vicky?
Yeah, I'm alive, thanks.
Okay. So your B1s constitute the biggest part of the team. Okay? There's a minimum of 4 B1s that needs to be in the team. B2s, minimum of, there's also 4 or 3? 3. Minimum of B3s, and then a maximum of 4 B3s must make up the team. Now, if you don't have 4 B3s, you can play more B1s and B2s, but you can't play more B3s if you don't have enough B1s and B2s. You need to play with a smaller team. Now, before the game, any other equipment, there's no other special equipment other than the glasses. Everything else is the same as normal cricket. Only exception is the stumps. We can see here it's one solid piece of stumps, there's no bails. Don't use bails, don't need bails. And obviously the balls themselves, we can hand one over that way, and one over this way. You're more than welcome to shake them. Those of you that know me have seen these balls before. I've taken them to the field quite a few times. Obviously, it's for the sound. Players use the sound, players can identify the ball based on the sound. The biggest issue is if you're playing on the field where the grass is quite long and the ball goes and dies down, you can't hear it anymore. The fielders must be able to find that ball. So obviously you cannot help them, but it gets quite interesting when you see the guys B3 shouting, it's more this way, it's more that way. I don't want to be offensive to you guys or anything, but it's part of the nature of the game. And you know, we all need to enjoy the game as well. Anything else with regards to the ball? I mean, you guys can pick up that if the ball gets damaged or sometimes it gets a little hole in it, the players can actually pick up that it has been damaged and it just needs to be replaced. You can also see there's a specific design on it as well. It has a seam, but I don't think there's any mention in the playing conditions to the weight of the ball. Also don't think there's any specifications in the actual dimensions in the playing conditions. They're pretty much standard size from what I've seen. I've seen a few of them being smaller than other ones, but not by much.
Will that constitute a new ball or a used ball?
That is probably as new as it can be.
Is it?
They don't change much.
The thing is, we do get new balls, but most of the time our balls don't get damaged so often. And even if you play on wet grass, you can just wipe it, and it's
okay.
It's still okay.
Good to go.
Because it is from Pakistan and India that we get our balls, so it's not locally made. So it's quite a mission to get it from there to here. That's why we actually just try to preserve our balls.
Yeah.
We'll probably use it for a couple of games, one ball. And if it's possible, we'll have 2 balls for 2 innings, but if we can use that one ball, we will use that one ball.
Okay.
Then it's 2 balls we change.
Yeah, so the condition of the ball doesn't change much in between games. It just gets, if you've noticed, it's plastic, it just gets a bit dirty. It doesn't. The only thing is when it gets a scratch mark or something like that on it, then they tend to just ask to use another one. Yeah, I think that is it for before the game actually starts and the equipment itself.
Maybe just one thing. Some of the B1 players actually sometimes wear protective gear, so chest pads, you know,
Yes.
helmets, even though they're in the field or not. Yeah. So, but that doesn't happen as often anymore. But in some instances, they would actually form
The wall.
the wall around the batter. Yeah.
Yes.
And then they would wear protective gear because they're standing quite close to the batsman, and they obviously can't see when the ball's coming their way. So.
And if they do wear protective gear and the ball hits the B1 and it get caught by any other place, not that.
If the gear's on the outside.
Yeah.
So tell me, is it only the batters that wear the glasses, or fielders also have to wear glasses?
The B1 fielders,
All B1s
all
will
of
be
them,
on the
all of
field.
them, all of them. At all times.
So if the glasses do come off at any point, the umpire needs to make sure that it's put on correctly before it can actually. And I mean, the playing conditions actually specify that the B1 must turn away from the pitch for the umpire to actually do it. He's not allowed to have any chance of seeing the pitch at all.
And during the whole innings, he's not allowed to touch his glasses.
He's not allowed to, he has to be under the supervision of the umpire to take them off, to wipe sweat off or anything like that and put them back on.
Just a question on that. If B1 is defined as being totally blind, is that only to the one eye or to both?
Must be blind in both.
Must be blind in both.
I think the one thing
But-
we forgot to mention is
Yeah.
that players need to wear these indicator bands. Yeah. The B1 should wear a white band. That's how you identify them. So essentially, he would be classified before the game by an ophthalmologist. So they should get checked whether there is any vision. Same for the B2s and B3s.
Okay.
The B2s would wear a red band to indicate that they're B2s, and then B3 is the blue band.
Okay.
Or they wear one band and two bands and three bands.
Oh, yeah.
If they just have one
Yeah.
color as well. So that's also to tell them on the field.
Who's the B1s?
Yeah. So on the field itself, we have just identified the different types: B1s, B2s, B3s. You also notice that there will be lines painted on the field. There should be lines painted on the field around the wicket. I believe it's 5 meters. Where the B1s, they're not allowed to be within 5 meters of the stumps for the so-called wall. The old tactic that used to happen is they would place all B1 batters in front of the batsman with the protective equipment on, and then they would just, as soon as the ball gets hit, fall on the ground, basically forming a wall to stop. Well, I mean, that was allowed at one point, and that's why they brought in the law to change it, the playing conditions to change that. So now there's a distance that the B1s are allowed to be from the batter, and also they're not allowed to just fall on the ground. There's no players allowed to dive and just fall on the ground and lay on the ground. The umpire needs to make sure that that ball needs to be going in that direction, close to the player, for them to actually be able to be in the vicinity of the ball before they're allowed to fall on the ground. Obviously, if there's a B1 fielder fielding short on the leg side and the ball gets hit and he immediately goes down because he's thinking it's going towards him, that's fine. But it's not the case of him fielding at the circle and the ball's getting hit towards the offside and he's falling down on the leg side. Yeah. Now, there's no other fielding restrictions for any other players. They can field anywhere. This case may be. The only thing is, when it comes to bowling, I do believe there's a certain amount of overs that needs to be bowled by B1 So it's the same as the team makeup. It's 40% of the team is B1 basically, and 40% of the overs must be bowled by B1s as well. Now, could you guys demonstrate for us how it is that the B1 will be bowling the ball? Okay. So obviously, the B1, remember we just said it's somebody that's completely blind, wearing these blackout glasses. So you might ask the question, how would they know where to bowl? Okay, so let us take these to be our stumps. Can we have a wicket keeper? Fair enough. John, you're all padded up to bat. Would you mind taking the ball for us, sir? You can keep the gloves on.
Okay,
No,
what
no,
I
no,
can,
you
what
can't.
I can do it. I can try to do
You can simulate
the
a B1
Yeah.
if you want, or you can be the batter as
No,
well.
you can
Just for the demo, yeah. Depends if John wants to do it, yeah.
demo here.
He still needs to undress
No,
quite
no,
a bit.
You come in bet.
You can be the batsman. Okay, Tom, can you, or maybe Jack, just give us
So easy stuff.
That's fine. So what will be happening here?
Okay, there will be another stump here.
So the other set of stumps will be this side.
Yeah.
So the B1 will come, you will be feeling where these stumps are.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, so I'll almost like yeah.
So we're just using this as an example. So the B1 bowler, it's in the car.
Okay, do you want because we didn't want to mess up the pitch.
Yeah. Can he go get it quickly?
Okay, I'll get it.
Okay. Sorry for the delay, Tom. Okay, guys, Guys, can I just, while we're busy waiting for our PA to get the other set of stumps, guys, please, if you're umpiring for blind cricket, help these guys. Okay? B1s are going to be having a runner. They'll always have a runner. So when they're non-striker, their runner is actually going to be on that side. They need to be standing at square legs. Okay? So after the ball, if they're going to be off strike, you need to move in and fetch him. So John, we're walking this way, and take him to square leg to stand with you. Every ball. And then when that ball, when it's his turn to face again, the non-striker must be ball with you.
Yeah.
But we normally take a few steps with us.
Yeah.
Going that way, it's your turn to take strike. As we're here to help each other.
But the umpire can still move
Yeah, yeah.
They won't move in that direction.
Yeah. So you'll find out there's a lot of noise on the field. Over and above the noise of normal cricket, shall we say. And speaking of noise, the umpire has to call out all of the runs scored.
Yeah.
Every single run that's been scored by the batter has to be called out by the umpire. For everybody on the field to hear. Every ball. I know now you don't want to umpire anymore. Yeah?
You said there's a lot of noise involved surrounding it.
Yeah.
Now I understand if it's a very quiet game.
Usually before with the ball,
Yeah.
we're going to go bowl. Everybody, usually the guys are very quiet.
So you'll see when he demos the bowling now, he's going to ask the batsman if he's ready. When he does that and the batsman says yes, then there needs to be quiet. Because the batsman obviously needs to hear the ball. Once he makes contact, then we'll hear the noise. Keeper might call the direction. All sorts of things happen.
On a link.
I mean, everyone calls everyone. So the runners will obviously talk to each other because in some instances there's runners that also can't see as well. Well, I mean, even if it's a mystery on the other side, there's still.
There we go. It's cute.
Yeah, the mystery has to run for himself. Two have an option of a run. And the B1
Michael's recording as well.
But once you start a B2, you start without a runner,
Yeah,
you
then
can't
you
get
can't
a
Get a
runner
runner in
out.
between.
And you can't change your runner during the game.
That same runner have to
Your
run.
runner gets injured,
You out.
you put your runner.
Yeah, that's still
And then the runner has to be then put it his turn to bat.
Yes.
Unless if there's a batter that's already been out.
If there's agreement between the captain, then he can change the runner if he's time to. But if the captain says no, then it's no.
Okay, John,
Yes, sir.
start of the over. Here we're starting on the side. Got a B1 bowler bowling to you.
The big terug.
One step, right arm over the wicket.
Okay, John, bowler's one step, right arm over the wicket to you.
Okay, so I'll come, lift the wicket, okay. I'll use this one for a guide just to get my stance. Okay, batsman ready? Okay, wait. Okay, direction.
You saw.
Batsman ready?
Yes.
Play. Okay, and also the when you take that off,
it's kind of just anyone says anything, but it's just a sound to give if the bowler's he's obviously representing a blind bowler.
Yes.
So he would normally ask before he asks the batsman, he'll ask for direction. So then the wicketkeeper would just say whatever they normally practice, just to give you an idea of where the stumps are. Because remember, he can't see.
Yes,
he can't see. Yeah.
So the other thing as well is if the bowler tends to bowl a bit more down leg, you will see the wicketkeeper move more towards the offside.
Yeah,
You'll call it on the wide line.
on the line.
So you'll actually typically see the B1 batter going like this to judge where the wicketkeeper is, and then he would try and bowl it in that line.
Yeah, I mean, everyone kind of has their own little things.
Somebody
that
want the
work for
off
them.
stump, somebody want the leg stump and stuff like that.
But generally, yeah, when it's a B1 bowler, you will always ask for direction before you actually ask the batsman.
It's
When he's
really-
ready, yeah.
So he asks for direction when he's ready. The next thing you ask is
batsman ready.
ask the batter if he's ready. Yeah, he has to do that. Has to let every ball.
Yes.
He doesn't do that.
It's a no
Doesn't matter
ball.
who's batting or who's bowling. The bowler will always ask the batsman.
And
Doesn't have to ask for direction, but
Yes,
he has
yes,
to ask
yeah.
for batsman.
And on release also, as
Oh,
you
yes.
release it, it will have to be
Put the ball.
played. As
As you release
as the ball
Leave your hand.
leave your hand. Yeah, play.
Who's the umpire?
No, the bowler.
No.
The bowler must say play.
And if there's a delay in play, in
Then
calling
you
play,
call him.
It's either if it's too late or too early, the umpire can no ball.
Yeah. Generally, it will be
Okay.
a warning first,
There will be a warning,
and then
but if it
if it continues, then
continues, then it will have
Okay.
to be.
So
but
if you see
that's
the
on the
ball
discretion
flying,
of the umpire.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Normally, if the ball's flying over there and then play comes,
Yeah.
then, yeah, this is cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes
The
they
long
forget.
ball, the long ball, no ball. The long ball, no ball.
Yeah. So there will be a line in the middle of the pitch, and the ball has to pitch before the line and on the other side of the line before it reaches the batsman to be deemed a legal ball. Otherwise, no ball.
Yeah.
The long
So
ball.
aerial balls.
If the ball, if I push the ball and that is where it will land, by him, that will be a no ball.
Yeah.
So I will have
So-
to. This is half of the pitch, so now I have to bounce it before once here and again before the stumps.
At least,
Before
yeah.
the popping crease.
Popping crease. Okay.
Yeah.
It will have to bounce. So you can't bowl in the popping crease there. That will be a no ball. It will have to bounce once here and will have to bounce over the line again.
Unless, of course, obviously the batsman steps the ball and he makes, plays it before the popping
Intercepts the ball
Yeah.
before. Okay.
Is it allowed to bounce more than twice?
Yes, yes. You'll generally find bowlers can try and keep it on the ground because it makes sense.
But then they all bowl underarm.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, as far as you can. That doesn't matter. And you can run from wherever you go.
Isn't the Pakistani team?
Yes.
So sorry. So on that villain, and so can you bowl? The law states it must be underarm, but your hand must just be lower than the shoulder. I think, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. So you can,
Throw
it will have to be underarm. So it doesn't matter where you release the ball. If you want to release the ball here, it doesn't matter. So as long as it's
As long as the
underarm.
pitch is where it needs to pitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both ends.
All right.
So I know that some of the guys, it all depends on where they release the ball. That is also how they can bounce
They
the
can
ball.
bounce, yeah.
Yes.
How it can be bounced. It's very difficult with a lot of practice, but there's no law that say that you can't do it. As long as it's underarm,
Okay.
it's legal.
Wow.
The only thing is it's not allowed to bounce in the popping crease.
Yeah.
It has to bounce past the popping crease.
Before. In
When
the
you bowl.
bowler's
Bowler's
popping
end,
crease.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not allowed to bounce it there.
Okay.
It has
Okay.
to bounce it between the line in the middle of the pitch
Yes.
and the popping crease. The bowler's popping crease.
Yes.
The other thing is, you noticed when I was standing there, I was telling John, I come over as we would normally do, one step. Okay, so you need to tell the batsman how many steps the bowler is taking. So the bowler needs to inform the umpire, listen, my Tom over the wicket taking 13 steps. Okay. Your square leg umpire will be counting these steps. Because if the bowler changes it, okay, again, I think the first time you can just dead ball and caution it, but it should actually go up to a no ball as well if he does it, because he effectively changed his own up.
Yeah.
What happens is your batter, let's say it's a B1 batter, is facing a B3 bowler, he's counting the steps that the bowler is taking before the bowler is actually going to say play. So if the bowler is taking a different amount of steps, he's doing that to confuse the batter, which is not allowed. So your non-striker needs to be counting those steps, needs to be checking where that ball is released, when the call of play is, where the ball pitches the first time and the second time. Yes.
So, sorry, Colin. So if I'm a bowler and midway through my 13-step run-up, I stumble or I figure out that my run-up is not in the rhythm that I'm used to, and now I take a double step, and now instead of 13 steps, it's 15 steps. Would that be a no ball then?
So actually wanted to add now. I mean, look, that happens.
Yeah.
So if he if he takes 13 steps and now he shortens it to 5 steps, I mean that's obviously unfair.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the counting of the steps maybe a bit overkill, but the idea is that the bowler shouldn't get an unfair advantage.
Okay.
So he shouldn't either shorten or lengthen his run up to confuse the batsman. He can't do that. He has to inform the umpire first.
100%.
And he mustn't shake the ball while he's running.
Is that an actual
you
rule?
can't.
Yeah, there's no noise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's to be quiet.
Okay,
Because it
that's
also
actually-
confuses the
that's actually
batsman.
not you see, if I run, then with a motion of your arm, the ball will
Make a
will
sound.
make a sound.
Yeah.
But it's
But
deliberately.
if you run deliberately like this now,
Yeah.
and shake the ball, that's now unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
So if it makes a noise, you can't help it because it is there to make a noise. But if you deliberately now shake the ball,
And when they have a run up, is there still a no ball, front foot or not?
Yes.
Same
Oh, yes.
That's why you'll see the B1s generally don't have a
Yeah,
run up. Yeah.
Dat is het.
They'll just do one step or stand still.
Yeah.
So there's only the only time we get the free hit is on the front foot no ball. But there is lots of no balls that you can actually.
Yeah, call for.
So it's a long ball. That's one no ball.
The plate
That
ball.
is that's a play. That will be a no ball.
Off the pitch.
If you see now like I explained earlier, if they hit the ball on leg and the guys are diving on off, that will also be no ball.
And
But
that involves a free hit.
No.
Just
Only
the
the
front
front.
foot.
Only
That's
front.
only front foot. That's the only time.
Got it, thank you. Jason, you have a question?
Yeah, can you change your number of steps midway during an over as long as you inform the
Ja, je moet
umpire?
hem goed vormen.
As long as you inform
Ja.
the umpire and the umpire informs the batter,
Okay.
you can change arm, you can change which side you're bowling from, you can change your steps.
That's
That's
normal.
You can change from pace to spin as well, but from the umpire's point of view, you're not going to be telling the batter he's bowling spin.
Yeah.
You're just going to say, okay, it's coming around the wicket, 1 step, 2 steps,
Yeah.
whatever the case might be.
There's one general ruling that I'm getting confused. Say if I hit the ball, how many runs can be taken
Well,
from one hit?
as many as you want.
Yes. I keep
As
on
long as-
having
as
the
long
same
as-
argument with the other umpires. They tell us you can only get 6 runs. Now please explain. He's also one. Please now tell him that as long as you can run, you can run, and you can run, and you can run. Even if you take 100 runs, you can take it. No, it's because I'm having the same argument with all the umpires.
As many as you want.
Yeah, as many as you want, as many as you can.
If I'm correct, I think it's like 96 or 104 is the actual record.
The record is 252.
Are you serious?
No, serious. What happened? They had a tree on the field. And the ball was hit into the tree and they couldn't get the ball out.
Chop down the tree.
No, 242. It's a record.
That's interesting.
So we've got 2 questions.
I
Yours
just want
first?
to know, with the free hit, does it mean nobody gets the field? And he just hits the ball?
So if it's like a normal free hit,
It's like a normal free hit. That's the only thing is you can't be bold.
But you can be run out.
Yeah, you can be. It's exactly the same as the free hit on normal cricket.
Ja.
But it's just you can't be bold.
Het stamp.
And
And
caught.
stumped. Oh, can you be stumped?
Yeah,
you can't be stumped. You can't be stumped.
No, you can't be
You
stopped.
can't be stopped. Yeah,
You can only be run out.
Chris?
Way back in 1998, the
When you
South
first
African
started.
blind team was playing the World Cup against Pakistan. Now, if I recall it correctly, we won that World Cup.
Yes.
And that's where we scored over 400 odd runs, close to 500 runs against the Pakistanis. And that's why you can run all the time, like the gentlemen say down there. You can run 252 runs if you want to. If you're fit enough, you can run a Comrades as well.
Were you umpiring in that World Cup?
The year before, the year after, I started umpiring.
But I think they were playing 40 overs.
How many overs constitutes an innings, and is there anything like a power play?
So, yes, they play normal 50 overs. You've got a 40 multi-over version as well at some point, and you've got T20s as well. And it's a standard power play that we use in normal cricket.
And Westerbrand going to introduce a T10 also. Sometime this year.
You can have a T10.
Yeah, it's just a shortened version, but the same percentages would apply.
And what do you guys think of the T10s?
We got to have a first tournament.
We'll see how it goes.
We don't know.
So, I have another question. Before you call play, how would you know that everybody is ready?
Everybody must just be ready.
Must be ready.
Yeah, it's only the batsman that has the say. He can say when he's ready or not.
Okay.
The rest of the
umpire will
field must
check
be.
with him.
Yeah, and the bowler can ask his fielders, are you ready, fielder?
Yeah, he can do that.
So a lot of the times your B1s will go fielders ready,
Yeah.
and then there'll be one or two guys just answering because it's late in the afternoon and everybody's tired. And then it will go, okay, either get his direction then,
Yes.
or we will then ask the batsman ready, and then we will go forward and play.
And you can only start your run up if the batsman say yes, I'm
Yes.
ready. So if he doesn't say anything, sometimes the wind is blowing,
Alright, so
and you can't hear anything.
Yes.
So the bowler will have to wait until he gets an indication from the batsman. You can bowl now. Then only you can.
Understood.
So John, B1s, how do they run? Because they
Run.
can't see where they're running.
Runners.
You must keep your out of your way.
You're talking about it now, but that actually happened to me in a practice. So the one guy is actually a big guy. He's a B1, but he's actually quite mobile. And we were playing just a practice game, and he was running for himself. And I was watching the ball in the field, watching the field, and we just had a massive collision that day. Because he didn't see me coming. I was watching the ball. Yeah. So yes, we don't want B1s running.
Concussion
That same guy,
replacement.
can you see? With 2 teeth. Here and the other one. For real.
Okay, so they are supposed to have runners.
Yeah.
Yes, you will find that they have runners.
Yeah, so B1s have runners, B2s can also have runners.
Yeah.
It's optional for the B2s if they want to run or not. If they're coming in without a runner, they can't then ask for one later on.
Yeah, okay.
They need to either start with one or go completely without one.
But then also, they're not allowed to have, well, they can only have runners, but if they're on the field, if they're fielding, there's no restriction on them running. If they want to chase the ball, by all means, they will chase the ball. I know there's also one, our other Shozo was supposed to be here. I think it was in Bellville. That guy, he ran a hockey post. That was on the other side of the field.
Yeah, he ran over the boundary.
Over the boundary.
Yes.
But as soon as the ball stops, he won't be able to hear where
And
it
that's
is.
why I was chasing it so
That is why
hard.
he was chasing it
Yeah,
hard.
he didn't
So
realize it was
as
over
soon
the
as-
boundary
As soon as the
already.
ball stops,
Yeah.
he can't hear it, so he can't gather the ball then.
Yeah.
And he's the only one there by the ball.
Ah,
So,
okay.
yeah.
So they ran 252.
No, but I've actually seen B1s run guys out from the outfield. So a guy chasing the ball, picking it up, throwing it in direct hit on the stumps, running outside the guys. So
Yeah.
see some interesting things.
So what happens if the ball goes quiet and nobody knows where the ball is?
That's the
We're gonna be
one.
three now.
You
But
must
you
have-
do
We
have
have B3, is that what you were on?
So that is why if we normally use a wicketkeeper that can actually see the most on the field.
Yes.
So he will be the guide around the whole field. He will tell you, okay, left, right, where the ball will normally be. So that is it. And then we will always have a sighted guy on either side of the field. So although he's far
has an
from the ball,
idea of where-
he will have to go and
Yeah.
fish that ball in.
You see that guy run from here right to the other side to go look go get the ball for the fourth game. Yes.
Yeah, all where you see the bowler chase the ball all the way
Yep.
around. This happens as well.
Well, I just have a question. With no bails,
Yes.
how do you determine a run out? As soon as the ball touches the wicket?
Contact.
Contact. Okay.
Any contact.
Any
So the
contact.
reason why you'll see it's metal stumps.
Yeah.
That is the main reason why we don't have wooden stumps. So as soon as you hear the faintest sound there,
Yeah.
and you can hear if it's a well, John did it already. He threw a stone against the wicket when the ball passes. The
umpire must be able to see.
Guys, now you know what to look out for.
So as soon as you hear something, you will hear when the ball passes and will hit the stump. So that is the reason. So everyone can hear.
Yeah.
So is hit wicket in play? I mean, is hit wicket?
Yes. That's also again the umpire has to kind of use vision as well as the sound.
Your square leg needs to help you there as well. Because it needs to judge that distance. If you're playing, pitches that can use balls bouncing uneven, it can bounce past the stumps and just touch it. It's still out. It's difficult to hear. You can maybe see it hit the stumps. Not hear it, but you can still give it out. Most of the dismissals in normal cricket apply to blind cricket as well. The only difference is LBW. Obviously the ball's rolling on the ground. LBW, if the ball's going outside leg, it can still be given out. LBW. That's in line. Yeah, as long as all of the other normal criteria, the impact still has to be in line. The ball still needs to hit the stumps, but it can pitch outside leg. And then a B1 is also allowed to hit the ball twice.
No.
Well,
legally,
one motion.
Legally, yes.
In one motion, yes.
Yeah, one motion. Where the other one's on. Because you'll normally see the B1s are playing with the flat bat on the ground. So they play forward and then back. And then sometimes they'll hit it again. That's fine. That is allowed. No issue with that at all. The biggest thing with the B1s as well is you can see these lines on the stumps. So who can tell me what's important about those lines?
Almost stay below that.
It doesn't have to be stay below, but it's where it hits the stumps. So B1 is only bowled if the ball hits the stumps below that line.
Only the B1s.
Only the B1s.
Makes sense why they only sweep on the ground then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And then obviously, I don't know if you guys have actually seen it in the playing conditions, but 4 runs scored off of the bat for B1. It's double. So your 252 becomes 504.
5 days score.
Umpy needs to keep score to tell.
Well, the umpire needs to call out all of the runs, and this is one thing where I had different opinions from different teams. They asked us to call out the runs for all the players to know, but with regards to the B1, sometimes the team wanted us to score out the double score, sometimes they didn't. So what do you guys prefer for the umpires to use?
That's an interesting one.
Now they must, when it is a B1,
yes.
He must just say B1, 2 runs.
Yeah.
But then the scorer must know it's double.
So then if you say B1 2 runs, it will actually be
4 runs.
Yeah.
If they do run 3, then it will be a 6.
Yeah.
And if he hit a 4, it's 8, obviously.
And if he hits 6?
That's 12.
I've never seen that. But
I've seen a 1 bounce 4.
Yeah.
Obviously, the boundary is also smaller than normal size. There's a maximum of 50 yards, 50 meters.
Yards.
Circles or not?
Yeah, 30-meter circle.
Power play, normal standard in a circle. Other than that, I don't know if you guys want to talk about the cycles of batting as well.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you guys can cover it a bit better than I can.
So a cycle essentially is a player of each category. Obviously depending on the team makeup as well. But there needs to be at least a B1, B2, B3, coming in after each other. So that's called a cycle in the game. So if you have had all 3 categories bat, then a new cycle starts. So then any category can come in, but then again, if you had a B3 in, you can only then bring in a B1 or B2 after. And then you have to complete the cycle again. Obviously until, if B3s are exhausted, then you substitute that player with a B2, etc. But yeah, the cycle has to continue. Obviously to ensure that, you don't play all your strong players first in terms of sight.
So you can't open with 2 B3 bats.
No. Nor can you open with 2 B1 or with 2 B2s.
Yeah. And that's only for batting and does not apply for bowling.
Bowling, obviously, just a minimum number of overs by B1s, 40%. Other than that, you can
rotate your overs whichever way you like. And you can open with 2 B3s if you want as well.
Yeah. Gentlemen, and who governs that? The umpire, the B1, B2, 3, B3 sequence or not?
Yeah.
Management?
Don't worry, the fielder also orders. Don't worry.
Hey, check about that.
And I was wondering if the fielders do auto play, are you a B2 or B1, he must answer. If he doesn't answer, he can be sent off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
obviously
the batsman will ask them who's bowling. Is the B3 bowling or B1 bowling?
Understand?
Yeah.
And also they will be wearing their
Armbands,
yeah.
But I mean, there's no point in wearing an armband if the guy at the boundary is not going to be able to see that.
Yeah.
They need to verbalize everything.
No, but for you as the umpire,
Yes.
you can.
Hopefully you can see it. As a lot of verbal communication in the blind cricket match, much more than normal match. And it takes a lot to get used to it. I remember my first blind cricket matches were the national tournaments, and it was 5 days after each other. That was quite something to get used to. No practice, nothing before, and just day 1 all the way to day 5.
How long does a T20 innings take, for example? Is it much longer?
So they've got 90 minutes for the 20 overs.
And then penalties after that. For a B1, 10 runs.
Yeah, so every over that's not been bowled by
A B1.
Okay.
After the 90 minutes, it's 10 runs penalties. And for the sighted guy, 8 runs, no?
Ik draai actually nou om te onthou is het 8 of 6.
I think it's 8.
That's just for the T20s. Yeah, that's for the full one as well. Just the T20s.
It's for the 50 overs too, I think.
For the 40 overs too, you did get 3 hours, I think. 3 hours and 10 minutes, something like that. I'm not 100%.
So just a question: if you have completed the full 3 hours 10 for 40 over or 90 minutes for 20 over innings, and you have reached that amount of time, and you have only bowled, let's say, for instance, 18 overs. Do you still complete those 2 overs?
Complete the overs.
Okay. Plus the penalty runs.
Plus the penalty
Okay.
runs.
So the umpire will normally just check with the scorer just to make sure, you know, how many B1 overs still needs to be bowled if it's not completed, etc. And then, that determines the penalties.
The umpire should normally notice that as well.
Yeah.
You should, saying should, write down, you know, which bowlers are B1, B2, B3 as well. Anything else regarding the game itself? I mean, all the other playing conditions
Just
are
one
standard?
question on the bowler that's not B1,
Yes.
it's B2 or B3, he's got a run up.
Yes.
So he will walk back 10 steps, he will count 10 back, then he will call to the batter, are you ready?
Yeah.
Batter will say, well, he asks for directions first.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay, you just ask for the batter, the batter, you ready?
Yeah.
And then the batter says yes, and then he starts.
Yes. And then when he releases the ball, then he says play.
Oh, he says play.
He has to say
all the
play
bowlers will say play.
to make sure
All
that
the
the batsman
bowlers
knows the ball is on.
We can demonstrate this.
Yeah.
What happens between starting one up and delivery?
We can demonstrate
Because
this.
we played that
No, I've got
future.
it.
Okay, but like I said, you can only start your run up as soon as the batsman says, yes, I'm ready.
Yes,
Even
I'm
if you
ready.
stand there 15 steps back,
Yes.
you will have to wait for him before you
Of course,
can
yes.
start your run up. And then as soon as you, wherever you release the ball, when the ball leaves your hand, that's when you have to say play.
Play.
Before you release the ball, you must say play.
As
But before, you can't release the ball and say play, there's the no ball.
Yeah, obviously you listen if there's a deliberate delay, or well, even if it's not deliberate, if there's a significant delay, then
No ball.
And if you bowl without saying play, it's also a no ball. But many of them do it.
I can imagine, yes.
And what's your take on the bowlers trying to bowl so slowly that you can't hear the ball?
That's
For the
your
B1s.
problem. If the bowler can do it, he does it.
They quite literally go and just let it go.
Like lawn goes.
Even slower.
But remember,
And
if
it
the
barely
ball
gets-
doesn't reach the batsman, it's also a no ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one.
Still have to get there.
Slope.
Yeah, it happens. I mean,
It
the
happens
issue is
many
you get the
times.
slope sideways as well, then the ball ends up going wide on the offside. You know, I've seen quite a few long overs on the field.
Yeah, no, that's a regular one.
My record was at the national tournament, Kensington, where it was day 4 and the pitch was used quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I had a 36 ball over, which took about 17 minutes.
Well, I've had a 27 ball over inside the creek.
Now it all feels okay.
Wow, and the lady was crying. She was really in tears. My partner was crying. I told the long lady to become aggressive. Don't let the person there. It worked.
Guys, is there anything else that you want to add?
Yes, we also got a record. That guy bought 45 no balls, no 46. And with his last volleyball, that guy asked.
Was that guy you, John?
No, that was in the tournament, provincial tournament. Bumpy.
Yeah.
Was it Icky?
It was bumpy.
John, do you want to play a few shots?
Yeah.
Shall we bowl a couple and just demonstrate a few more, including the terminology that needs to be used with the umpire and yeah. I think it's easier if you demonstrate because.
Well, we've got an umpire as well.
Yes, Kasim is the umpire. Perfect.
So, maybe like coming over, under wicket and a few different steps.
So gaan there are different variations.
Yeah.
Run-ups in and a B1.
So we'll start as a B1. We'll start as a B1, then.
Yeah, no, it's no need. It's not a competitive over, it's just a demo.
Okay. Okay, so I'll start with as a B1. Okay, so I'll come to the wicket.
Yes.
Right arm over.
Right arm over.
One step.
B1.
Okay. Direction.
Okay, so.
Batsman ready?
You must tell me how you're going to go.
What?
The umpire must tell
The umpire
me.
did say, John. John, you must listen, John. You are blind, not deaf, sir.
Make it word on your own.
What you saying, Mr. Umpire?
B1 bowling.
Yes.
Right arm over. One step.
Thank you.
Okay. Direction. Direction.
So.
Direction.
So.
Batsman ready?
Yes.
Play.
Oh, what a shot!
Square drop.
Okay, so now I'm coming. B1. I'm coming around.
B1. Right arm around.
Around.
One step.
Okay. Batsman. Direction.
Direction.
So.
Batsman.
Yes.
Play.
Double shot, John, you're out.
Shot, yeah.
Okay. Now I'll say it's someone can see. B2 bats, B2.
Is it John?
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Right arm over. 5.
Okay, so now I don't have to ask for direction because I can see now. Okay, batsman ready?
It's a miracle.
Play.
Shot.
Good timing, Johnny, man, huh?
You'll ever have a B1 bowler with a runner.
Yes.
Yes.
What if they run into the stumps?
Usually they measure out the
Umpire.
They normally don't have a big run. It will probably be the most will be 3 6.
Yeah.
So
and you'll find that the guys are very, what's the word I'm looking for? They're very, very aware of their surroundings.
Yeah.
The guys that are that mobile. So, yeah. But yes, interesting things do happen.
Okay. I'm coming around the wicket. Okay. Batsman ready?
Yes.
Play.
Why?
Okay. I've done that now deliberately. So as soon as it's off the pitch, the umpire will just have to call it either no, but you will have to decide.
No ball or wide.
Yeah.
What's the rule if it's off the pitch before the crease line?
For the ball big crease.
Yeah. Good.
But a no ball wide, I can hit it instead of no ball.
Yeah. Same rule for all no balls.
Batsman ready?
Yes.
Play.
One thing to notice is, obviously he didn't change his run-up, so the umpire doesn't have to announce it for every ball.
Yeah.
It's only if there's a change in bowler or change in the run-up.
Okay. There we go.
There's a
Unfortunately, a ball.
Pardon?
Unfortunately, out
Yeah.
ball. Your runner didn't run his 250.
He did well over a couple of runs.
And obviously, the umpires say you're out.
Yeah. Hopefully they know when
You'll
they're
hear
out.
the ball on this.
Yeah.
They will say,
There's a
like
full
from
mindset.
W.
Oh yeah, no, I mean generally the umpire would say.
I'm having my operation maybe next month. I broke my hand. You were talking about the runner. You know, first the runner.
Oh, and the other thing they do
I
is
was
that
also going over the wicket. But I came to near the wicket. As I was bowling, I hit the wicket and I broke it.
Regards to the runner for D1, when can the runner start running? Obviously the ball needs to be hit before the runner can start run, but is there like where he needs to stand and something like that for the runner?
So it's the rules are the same. The runner has to be in the crease,
Yes.
otherwise he can be run out at any given time. He can start the run before the contact is made, but obviously he runs the risk of the batsman missing the ball and then he gets run out. So, yeah.
But he's only supposed to start running when the bowler says play.
Oh,
Then he can start
The ball
running.
has to be in play, so that's
Yeah.
the technicality. And the bowler releases the ball and says play, then he can start.
But that's only the non-striker's runner.
Yeah.
The striker's runner is only allowed to start running once the ball is hit.
Play, yeah.
Oh,
Otherwise he can be stopped.
So, because if the guy's bowling slow, then the runner at the striker's end can actually be halfway across the stumps before the ball's even been hit. So it's only the striker at the other side, he's like normal cricket allowed to run as soon as the ball's been bowled. But the striker at the stumps, at striker's end, the runner that side is only allowed to start running once the ball's been played. And he would normally be standing between the umpire and the batter itself, so you'll be able to see from an umpire's point of view where he is. Normally what you would do is you would tell the guy, stand a few steps behind the line, so that he starts moving forward as the batter is playing the ball, and then he can set the ball. But he's not actually allowed to start running before that.
And sorry, Dylan.
Yeah.
Who runs? B2s for B1s?
Anyone can run.
Anybody can run.
Anyone
They
can
can
run
see,
as
he can
well,
run.
they can-
Yeah, they want to venture.
Okay, I understand.
So it's normally just the higher umpire is allowed to run for the lower.
When he comes to bat, will be accompanied by B2
Or B3.
or B3. And a B2 by a B3. Or B3 or himself.
Yeah, just on that, on your 11, obviously you've got your set amount of B1s, B2s and B3s. If you're playing with a squad, you need at least one 12-man for each class.
Yes.
So you need one extra B1, one extra B2 and one extra B3.
Minimum, you can have
You can have more, but that's ideal.
You can have
Because you can't replace a B1 with a B2 if he gets injured on the field.
So you can have two B1s, two B2s, three threes.
And protective gear, they wear helmets?
If they want
Some of them, yeah, not
Yes.
all of them.
Okay.
And this is also something that the umpires have to look at. There's a new rule, I think it's by cited also. If you are standing near to the, if you are keeping, and you're standing near to the stumps, about 1.5 meters, you have to wear a helmet. Because the guys are rolling so slow, so we can stand on the wicket. So it's easy for us to gather the, if we're keeping now. But it's not for the bowling, it's more for the batsmen that will yeah, so that's why if you stand on the stumps, you have to wear a helmet.
For World Cups that we need to prepare for, that we can maybe get involved from an umpiring perspective?
So we're having our AGA now the end of now the 25th of Jan. We will have an AGA, and that will one of the discussions will be there. They wanted to we had the 40 over tournament of the One Day Cup, we had it here. So it was actually on this field also. That was now in October. So we asked him if we wanted to have a T20 tournament also, but they wanted to BCCA Cricket South Africa. They actually wanted the tournament to be now in April. So we asked if it's possible we can have it in October. So that is what they have to decide now. If they want to have it, we will probably have it in October again. The next T20, because we are actually a very new management here now. We just started last season, so we still
Finding our feet.
Finding our feet.
But there is a Western Province Boland game coming up. That's the only thing that's fixed. That is in. Oh no, but that's not here. That's that side.
You played on Darling the last one.
So
we
we're
hosting now.
we're hosting. So we will probably there's a 90% chance that we probably going to use this field here.
Okay.
That will be in the what's the date now?
No, I'm checking it now. It's somewhere in March. I don't know the date. But yes, middle March somewhere.
Yeah, in March.
Do you guys play any warm-up games, inter-squad warm-up games, or anything like that?
So there's club games that's going to start next week. Okay.
This weekend?
Yeah, this week. Game in Easter that we're traveling for. I think there's one game that was postponed that was supposed to be played in. Yeah.
So who's currently umpiring those club games? Kasim, you're doing all the umpiring.
Most of the time, yeah. but the guys have, when we go play there, they will have Boland players that side, yeah. Woestyn usually have Boland players.
The home team must provide them players.
Yeah.
Okay.
So probably in 2 weeks' time we'll pull on the guys.
Come out first.
Yeah. So our provincial game will actually be the 9th of March.
Okay.
Okay. And we hosting, so we will have to be ask for officials.
Okay.
That's an opportunity.
Yeah, so I mean, I think what will probably work is if some of our umpires come to your training sessions. As you practice, we also like standing in nets. It would be best to actually watch and be part of a simulation.
Actually, I would say that training sessions are not the best.
Okay.
It's gonna be a bit of a waste, I think.
Okay.
What you've seen here is kind of what you'll see at training again. It's the games that I mean, you'll find the players are very accommodating because they understand that you guys don't generally do the blind cricket game. So I think an actual match, probably a club match is the best time to learn on the job learning.
Great.
Well, it's it.
Great. Yeah. We're used to taking abuse, so no.
Yeah, people like John are very abusive. So.
So if there are no further questions, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Israel, Jermaine, Coach Kasim and John for all the abuse that they've given us, but also for all the knowledge that they've shared. It's new to most of us, and there's so much more still that we can and will learn. So let's keep the communication channels open, and hopefully someday we can be umpiring not just your club cricket but your provincial matches and maybe even international matches. So looking forward to that day. We've got a token of appreciation from our events coordinator. He's found some hats that he's been hiding from the rest of the association. So we'd like to hand over these caps to the four of you guys.
Thank you. Thanks. We wouldn't have seen it anyway. Thank you.
Yes. And then we can take some photos.
I just wanted to check, now in November there was a T20 World Cup in Pakistan. So I'm...
Thank you, sir.
I am one of the coaching staff of the team. But there was a spot for one of the umpires. We would have qualified umpires here in South Africa. Well, to go and stand. So I'm just saying. So
there is a possibility that you can be used by it.
Amazing. I've been asking for a floppy from Western Province, New Zealand. They promised me for the last 2 years they're going to give me a flop.
Guys, we can come together and take some pictures. Everyone else also join in. Okay. B1, B2, B4, cycles. Cycles, ja.
John, hij gaat niet tussen jou inkomen.
Ja, dat moet ik wel.
Space here? You can join us. There you go. Okay.
Direction.
Direction. Here so.